Hello, thank you for tuning in to this watercolour demonstration. My name's Bill Lupton and today I'm working from a photograph that I took myself on Exmoor in Devon about 2 years ago. Well, I can assure you that I don't actually paint this fast. The video is playing back at twice normal speed. Well, the sky's painted wet into wet with a tiny touch of ultramarine blue. I've now added some yellows to that blue to give me various shades of green, but they're more of a bluey green for distant trees. I'm dropping those in wet into wet. Occasionally I'll add in some darker blue just to create depth even in these distant trees. And now I'm adding the foreground, still wet into wet. These are just background colours to give an idea where the path's going to go. If you like my style of painting, why not check out the rest of my videos on YouTube. And also I've got a website, www.thepaintings.co.uk, where you might find something of interest. There's courses and classes, holidays, kits, and also some immediately downloadable painting guides. What I need to do now is to start building the foreground really, so I use warmer colours that are slightly thicker and stronger than the background. In the photograph there's lots of bright greens and I think too many, so what I've done is I've changed the background more to a blue colour and then warmed up the foreground to give it extra depth. It also looks less cluttered. I'm just using a credit card now to scratch in some foreground detail. What this does, it just adds a little bit of texture to the path before I darken the colour. Using a slightly dark colour now just to add some foreground detail with a rigger brush. The detail I put on with the rigger brush earlier is faded slightly now because the painting's dry, but now it is dry I can really start to add some dark foreground information. In these trees I'm using a mix of dark greens, dark browns and dark greys, and I'm choosing them at random really just so I get a variety of colour in the bark. I'm now using a rigger brush with the same dark range of paints, and I'm extending these branches by quite a long way just trying to create similar shapes to those that's in the photograph, but not precisely the same. With the same rigger brush, I'm just flicking up some grasses in this foreground and some bracken. I'm using greens and browns and maybe a bit of Payne's grey, and I will make it sure it's quite strong and dark, and that helps to push everything behind these trees backwards. I'm adding the canopy of leaves at this moment. It's just a round brush with a green. What I'll do then is add some dark in there and let that spread around. But then I shall use a large wet brush to dampen some of these leaves in between, so I get hard and soft edges. Well, here I go with the large brush. It's just got clean water on and it just gives that nice softening effect if you paint it on between the leaves. I don't like to see too many hard edges, and this gives that nice variety. Underneath these trees, of course, the path would be quite dark. It's in shadow of the trees, so I'm using a flat brush now and just bringing some lines in from each side in a dark colour. This helps with perspective and depth. The path was still missing a little texture, so I'm using a round brush with some real dark paint and just touching in a few areas to give these little lights and darks a little bit of shape and texture. I decided just to add some more dark to the outside edges of these trees to give the painting a more three-dimensional effect. Let's remind ourselves of the original photograph. It was very green and the trees hardly stood out on the left-hand side, so I decided to make some changes. Well, I hope you like my painted interpretation. It's less green and seems to have more depth, certainly creating a three-dimensional effect. Well, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that quick demonstration. I am on Facebook if you'd like to seek me out. Other than that, hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.